Hey, it's Doug and Holly Pounder from the For the Sickos podcast, bringing you the most important wrestling video of the year. It's our AEW Top 10 Matches of the Year so far, Part 1, to be continued and then extended at a later date. So basically the plan is to do this quarterly, then to increase the list by 5 each time until we reach the top 25 matches of the year. Until then, the matches in these videos will be in chronological order, but for the final video, they will be ranked. The time frame we're looking at here is January 1st through March 31st, 2026. And the wrestling has honestly been absolutely bonkers, considering at this point, there had only been one pay-per-view. Anyway, if you want to revisit some great matches or catch up on a few you've missed, these definitely won't let you down. So to kick off the video, I wanted to just burn through a few honorable mentions. The first match that deserves a spotlight, even if it didn't make the top 10, is Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander from Dynamite on January 21st. The match starts off with some action before the bell, which is nice because it reinforces the Ibushi Revenge storyline. Overall, it's a pretty clean match and a hard-hitting match as well, with a few memorable moments like Kenny hitting the Snapdragon on the concrete.
This should not be allowed. That's a concrete suplex.
The next honorable mention is Tekla versus Statlander from Dynamite on February 11th. This match was a lot of fun. These women didn't pull any punches, and I love a few spots. The one I think I've never seen before is when Tekla wipes blood on referee Aubrey Edwards. I thought that was really interesting. Another fun moment was Stat yanking Tekla out of her spider pose, using the strap, of course, and then just really great use of the strap throughout. I do wish, though, that the finishing sequence was like a little bit cleaner and just didn't have any interference.
Remember, Harley can't.
All right, 2 more quick ones before we get into the top 10. There was a trios title match featuring Hangman and Jet Speed versus the Don Callis family from Dynamite on March 4th. This isn't the best match, but Hanger and Bayley really shine in this one. Early in the match, Paige goes off for almost a full minute. Then Bayley tears it up on the back end with a wild sequence while also landing multiple high-level moves, not to mention an insane Poison Rana that Fletcher, I think, deserves some credit for as well.
Holy hell! What an incredible move! Triangle moonsault.
The last honorable mention is Andrade versus Bandito from Revolution 2026. There are some big spots in this one and some fun moments with both wrestlers eventually taking off their pants. I just wish the pacing wasn't like slightly derailed by Andrade taking 2 separate selfies and that the match felt a little bit less choreographed. It might be worth noting that I think this is the first time Bandito hits the 21-plex off the ground. Okay, here we go. Top 10 so far, chronological order, some spoilers. Holly, take it away.
Taking place on the January 14th episode of Dynamite, Bandito gets a shot at MJF's world title. It starts out with both of the wrestlers getting into character, and we see a few unique moves. The match gets a little counter-heavy, but it works well, and the energy and momentum are high. The match is very clean, and MJF works the arm throughout. At one point, Bandito hits a crazy crossbody from the top rope and lands on MJF on the other side of the barrier. The distance is seriously impressive. If I had any minor gripes, it would just be that Bandito goes back to the 21-plex 2 or 3 times, and the setup just never looks or feels quite right to me. But, as we mentioned earlier, he does resolve this in his match against Andrade, and I think he now picks his opponents up off the ground. The match finishes with a really good transition by MJF, where he turns a weak pin from Bandito into his salt-of-the-earth armbar. Bandito goes out like a hero in this one, as he gives MJF the middle finger just before passing out.
The angle of Bandito's shoulder.
Fighting for a high-ranking spot on the roster, Andrade faces off against Swerve Strickland on the January 28th episode of Dynamite. This one starts out with a fun sequence, and both wrestlers show off their abilities. The pace is just great throughout, even during the commercials. After trying to set up a pile driver, Swerve ends up taking a really nasty bump on the barrier and topples over like a slinky going down a set of stairs. The match ends just as adrenaline-fueled as it started, with another great sequence from both wrestlers.
That was a nice counter out of big pressure by Andrade. Oh, he got in there.
The next match is Kyle Fletcher versus Tommaso Ciampa from Dynamite on February 11th. This match was all gas and no breaks, but also manages to tell a classic in-ring story of power versus resilience. Honestly, I can't overstate the pace of this one. Every time I thought they were slowing down, they took it up a notch. This was a definitive AEW singles match, and while there were a few moments that could have been cleaner, the intensity on display in this one quickly erased any minor mistakes from my mind. Without giving too much away, this match also had some of the best 2.9 second counts I've seen in recent memory.
1, 2, oh,
In a rare collision match to make the list, we see Kyle Fletcher for the second time as he now defends his TNT title in a ladder match against Mark Briscoe at Grand Slam Australia on February 14th. I can't remember, but I think this was the 7th matchup for these two. And every time they go head-to-head, they set the bar just a little bit higher. And this Valentine's Day was no exception for these two sweethearts. There are so many grueling bumps in this one. Fletcher throws Briscoe off the top of a ladder on the outside. Briscoe takes the worst dart throw I've ever seen. Then Fletcher eats a J Driller into a ladder, or is it on a ladder? I don't know. Did I mention this was a ladder match? I hate to spoil everything here, which I'm not, but I do need to at least mention the earth-shattering brainbuster delivered by Fletcher towards the end of the match, and then they kiss. Just kidding. And now probably the least shocking entry on our list. We have Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland versus a can of Diet Coke from Dynamite on February 18th. I love the psychology in this one as Omega kicks things off with an open hand slap. Swerve then, of course, returns the favor, and the tone is basically set. The energy in the room was palpable and almost impossible to put into words, so I'll just show you this clip of Kenny Omega spinning a foam pad above his head.
lose his footing, but he stayed with it.
There's just so much I love in this match, but for the sake of time, I'll simply mention that Omega delivers one of the cleanest V-triggers ever. And in an attempt to end Kenny Omega's career, Swerve inadvertently gets to third base with a can of Diet Coke.
Somebody stop! Oh, no.
Just for the taste of it.
These kinds of matches rarely make it on best of lists, but the Mile High Madness from Dynamite on February 25th was one to remember. This match was an absolute blast from start to finish and had almost, if not any, downtime. Everyone gets at least a brief moment to shine, and props are used well throughout. Besides all the goofy chaos, there's plenty of great grounded wrestling. And don't forget to keep an eye out for Cash Wheeler getting actual wet trash dumped on him in the match. Honestly, the real stars in this one were the production team. There's just so much going on, and they managed to catch almost every moment. Finally, my favorite AEW signing from 2025 makes the list. It's Mike Bailey versus Kyle Fletcher.
You can't keep getting away with it!
From Dynamite on March 11th. This match had a super strong opening with some great reversals and fantastic chemistry throughout. I don't know how Bailey does it, but the guy just transitions from move to move at breakneck speeds. The action is smooth and often seamless, like the backbreaker side suplex combo from Fletcher. What made this match truly special, though, for me at least, was that after about 5 minutes, I had no idea who was going to win.
Jacket into the roll-up! Like the
The Revolution opener featuring FTR versus the Young Bucks set the bar for an incredible night of wrestling. How dudes in their 40s can go this hard is beyond me. The entire match is super stiff, with incredible textbook-level punches. I personally think striking is a lost art form in modern wrestling, and it definitely shouldn't be overlooked. The Bucks family gets involved, Nick Jackson slips on some blood, even Stokely takes a really nice bump. And if that doesn't make you want to watch this match, just look at the concern on just look at the concern on this lady's face. Easy match of the year contender.
Oh, God. Repeated super.
Do you want to play a game?
All right, I'm going to list a few things, and you try to guess which match is next on our list. Here we go. Tables, barbed wire, dog collar, skewers, broomstick, light tube, staple gun, birthday card.
Scared yet?
That's right. It's MJF versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match for the AEW World title. This match closed out Revolution, and rightfully so, as it had a big match feel all the way through. It was one of the most violent matches I've ever seen, but some lighter spots helped break up the insanity. For nearly an hour-long match at the end of a long pay-per-view, the crowd stays in it the entire time, which I think says more about this match than I ever could.
I don't know. After seeing this and some of the other Texas death matches here in AEW, I'd like MJF thinks that
indie bullshit.
but they're
Jon Moxley versus Takeshita from Revolution felt like a war of attrition where the winner was going to be whoever could outlast the other. The early test of strength really sets the stage for this one, as it's rarely used these days, but it did fit the tone of the match perfectly. I have to mention that I love how a 1 count is part of Takeshita's 5 moves of doom, and I'm shocked that he's able to find the exact right moment every time.
Moxley floats over. Let him go. 1 count.
The match felt raw, and I think that's what makes it stand out. But if there's one reason to watch it, I'd say Takeshita's ability to win a crowd over using in-ring psychology cannot be understated, and it should be studied.
1, 2, 3.
All right, that's our top 10 so far. Check back for our top 15 in July. Our next video will most likely be our double or nothing prediction, so hopefully see you then. And did we miss any matches that would have made your top 10? Based on her voice, how much do you think Holly weighs? Is she on steroids? All that and more next time on...
Yeah!